how they know they're really straight. You ask your ex what was lacking in the last relationship you were in, what would they say?
Like 28, you start thinking about, oh, maybe from the past. Like, I have a wife and kids now. He said, I think you're a weirdo.
Sometimes when women bring this up, the response is, get divorced. If you're married to a person who you know loves you and willing to change, then change is possible.
Welcome back to More to Life. Now, before we get into this video, I ask that you like, comment, subscribe. Also, smash that notification bell just to be sure you get on my videos as soon as I release them. Let's get right into this.
I don't believe in dating for fun. In my early 20s, and I will never stop saying that because I'm 30 now, I'm in the big leagues, and I love it over here. In my early 20s, I was so locked in on like my self-love, my solo dating, and my abstinence that if I was going to allow anybody into my inner worlds, the values needed to be aligned, because why would I disrupt my solitude for mediocre company and lukewarm companionship just to say I have a warm body nearby? Absolutely not. I was talking to a girlfriend last night and she was like, girl, do you not remember that you used to put guys through the ringer? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, the questions you used to ask on dates. Examples. I would ask them when the last time they cried was, how they know they're really straight. Like, how do you really know? And I would also ask them, like, if I were to ask your ex what was lacking in the last relationship you were in, what would they say?
What kind of question is that?
Knowing your favorite color is cool.
Why are you asking interview questions? It sounds like creepy, weird interview questions. Like, the last one was decent, but that's an interview question. Are you crazy? She's goofy though.
And all, but I need to know the depths of your emotional regulation and intelligence. And there's a lot of discourse on here that's like, the second it stops being lighthearted and cutesy, find the nearest exit, babes. Like, leave like JoJo. And while I completely agree, if you are someone who is looking for a long-term partnership or dating to marry, you need to ask the hard-hitting questions. And how are you going to know if you don't ask? Don't let anybody try to talk you out of your dating process or lead you to believe that your standards are too high, because your discernment is going to be what keeps you safe, and it's going to be what ensures that your time that you see as valuable stays that way. And I don't need a man to have fun. I have my friends, I have my hobbies, I have my sacred time with me for that. That's just me though.
That's good she said it. Now, I don't know how you really mean that. I don't know if you're a virgin or not. I don't know that lady from a can of paint. It looks so good on the outside. On that video, you're thinking, she got her head on her shoulders. She understands. She controls birth, right? There's no single mom songs going on with her, as you can see, but hopefully she keeps a good head on her shoulders and stays that way. Because a lot of women turn for the worse.
I know nobody wants to have this conversation when they're married, but I was very close to wanting to end my marriage about 2.5 years ago. And it was not because I didn't love my husband. I loved my husband very much, but I resented him big time, and things were not good in our home. He was unhappy, I was unhappy, and things were just not operating well. And it sounds crazy when people ask why, and I tell them, because there was an incredibly unequal division of labor in our home. I was doing the majority of the chores. I was carrying the majority of the mental load. I was carrying the majority of the responsibilities when it came to our kids. I was working full time. It was so much work, and I was at a breaking point. And it felt like we were continually having the same fight about like the dishwasher, for example, when really it wasn't about the dishwasher. It was about the fact that I was burnt out from doing the bulk of the work to manage our home and make sure it was running effectively. And he was reaping the rewards of that work, but also not seeing that work. And oftentimes when women bring this up, the response is, get divorced. Leave him. He's trash. End the marriage. And I just want to come on here and say that that's not your only solution. If you're married to a person, this is the most important part. If you're married to a person who you know loves you, values your happiness, wants you to be happy, and is willing to support you and willing to change, then change is possible.
That's actually why people get married, you know, just so you know. It's a form of voluntary enslavement, I suppose, but it's also equivalent to the adoption of a responsibility.
I don't like when people say people can't change. Change is possible, especially when so much of this issue is societal conditioning and expectations and not an individual issue.
And there's more to it than that. If you can't run away, then you can solve your problem. I'm stuck with you. So how about we fix things?
So if you're struggling with these things, if you have a partner who loves you and wants you to be happy, I believe change can happen. I know nobody wants to have this conversation.
She needs to be a role model for all of these lost modern women. And it seems like a lot of them are older, around 40. Actually, it's all ages, because you think about it. The ones that are 20 are they're being led by the 40-year-olds. They are. Like, I even see women saying, divorced women and telling me don't get married. I want to be married. But she's right, though. That's all it takes. Let your partner know every time. It takes a married person to know. Every time I see somebody and they say, oh, things weren't being worked out. But did you tell your husband, though? Oh, I said it to him once. I said it to him twice. This, and that. Some don't tell their husbands and just divorce. Now, do you know how many do that? Don't say anything and just divorce. I saw another woman say that before as well, that she spoke to him and he obliged. And I'm happy. We need to see more of that. We need to see more women doing what she's doing.
Do you ladies feel like women are seriously ready for emotionally intelligent men?
Okay, let's talk about what emotional intelligence comes with before we even get into this conversation, okay? We're talking about you wanting a man who is tolerant, who regulates his emotions, who also knows how to manage your emotions. But you're also talking about a man who knows how to navigate his sensitivities and everything else when it comes to that. But you have to consider that an emotionally intelligent man is good at cutting people off when he sees that your sensitivities bring too much reactivity. When he sees that you cannot regulate your emotions. When he sees that you have a low tolerance. This type of man that you are asking for is a man who will walk you out the door in a heartbeat.
Real talk.
If he feels like you are disrupting his peace, if he feels like there's any level of disrespect, because there's a lot that comes with emotional intelligence. So if you asking for that, you got to come with the same level of emotional intelligence as well. Okay? That comes with a number of factors. So if you are a woman who knows that even though you may be sensitive to certain things like criticism, rejection, because you're not always going to be accepted. Sometimes he's going to bounce back, and sometimes he's going to say, I don't agree with your opinion. Sometimes he's going to say, I don't like those thoughts. Sometimes he's going to say, I don't like the way you speak to me. If you're not ready for that, don't be asking for an intelligent man.
So right, it comes with everything. Emotional intelligence, like she said at the end, comes with a man sometimes not liking the way you speak to him. Sometimes speaking to him like a child won't be tolerated. Sometimes screaming at the top of your lungs won't be tolerated. Like, emotionally intelligent men don't deal with headaches. I know, because as I got older and later in life came upon me quickly, I started to develop that emotional intelligence. And that's the way I was. And by the time I was in my younger 30s, I wasn't hearing it. Seriously, I wasn't hearing it. I was out of the country, did my thing, didn't want to hear it because I came from the land, the home, one of the main homes, of the modern woman, New York City.
You know what's worse than Sunday scaries? Saturday scaries. I messaged a guy that I did not talk to for like 8 years, literally like hooked up with him like 8 years ago, and I randomly thought about him, like, you know, like when you're single at like 28, you start thinking about, oh, maybe from the past, like this is a good guy. Yeah, no. This gentleman, hey stranger, he said, sorry, who's this? I said, Leah Bars. And then when I said, I said Leah, and I said Bars, and then when I sent Bars, it didn't say delivered, so I was like, did he block me? So then I did this. I went to his Venmo and I sent him $1 and I said, did you block me? And then he unblocked me and said, what's up? This is random. And I said, well, why did you block me? He said, why are you texting me? I said, whoa, I don't know, to catch up. He's like, it's been 8 years. I said, damn, I didn't know people couldn't talk again. My bad. He was like, I have a wife and kids now. Plot twist, my bad. He said, think you're a weirdo. I said, right back at you.
Rejects have been rejected.
Yeah. And then the conversation just ended. And honestly, woke up mortified.
You woke up mortified. It's been 8 years. You see, the sad part is, right? You're a single mother. Your situation didn't work out. As we just seen with the last reaction, the woman stated, you didn't have emotional intelligence. This man does. The woman that he married does. He moved on. That's why you're mortified. But you shouldn't be. Move on. But let me see what else she says.
Simply mortified. So please stitch this with any other stories that you have that are similar or worse than this, so it makes me feel better.
You know what drives me up a wall about videos like this? Is that the guy in the situation literally did nothing wrong. His wife, more than likely, would 100% approve of everything that he did. He blocked her, told her he was married with kids, but because she didn't like being rejected, she makes it seem like he was the problem. Especially when she said this.
Like, you know, like when you're single at like 28, you start thinking about, oh, maybe from the past, like this is a good guy. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
She said maybe from the past, this is a good guy.
It's too late. It's too late.
She regretted. The good guy, you probably passed him up. That's what probably happened. She didn't tell the whole story. She probably passed him up and doubling back now. Maybe he's still around. Maybe nice guys finish last, right? She's thinking that way. Nice guys finish last. He's still around. No, he ain't.
he actually is a good guy. Yeah, there's a lot of people who disagree with her in the comment section, but where I have problems with these type of videos is that we have over 200,000 people that don't think that she did anything wrong. For the love of God, people, leave your exes alone. And guess what? They're allowed to move on. And just because their next relationship is successful, it's not a poor reflection on you. But you behaving like this when you're not getting your way, when that person has blocked you, so you try to find alternative routes to communicate with them, to try to figure out why they blocked you, continuing to text after you found out that they'd moved on, that 100% is a bad reflection on you. And I'm talking to both men and women. If we're that hung up on people that we dated 8 years ago, we got some work to do. I could almost understand if it's been a couple of weeks, but 8 years? If you or someone you know is struggling getting over an ex, and you find yourself acting in ways like this, be sure to click the link in my bio, book a session with a BetterHelp therapist. Take advantage of the exclusive offer of 15% off your first month of therapy. And as always, be sure to follow for more content like this.
Yeah, she was a wreck. But exactly what I explained, that's what happened. The nice guy didn't finish last. Nice guys get married. Nice guys find good women like the one I'm about to show next.
I think one of my biggest pet peeves in this generation is when somebody tries to tell you that you're too young to be a wife. Because I'm 22, and if I bring up the thought of marriage to like older people, especially people in the world, they look at me crazy. Now, when I talk to actual like Christians who have been married and stuff, like they always support it. But like if I talk to like people who are my age who are like dating, they look at me like I'm crazy. And that's when I realized like I'm not cut for this generation. I am not.
Wow, I'm happy. There's a sprinkle left, like sprinkle. There's a sprinkle of good woman left, not the sprinkles. I'm happy. And you're gorgeous too. And she's not married yet, guys. So if you see her out there, she wants to be married. I think she's trying to recruit, really. But let me hear what else she says.
Nothing like this generation, because I will be a wife. I want to be a wife. Like, I want the house, I want the husband, I want the God-fearing centered relationships, I want all of it. And like, who is anybody to tell me that I can't have it? You know, I know Jesus, okay? And I know Jesus intends for us to be married if we're seeking love and we want to court and if we want to date. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there's people who live Paul lives. I'm not gonna lie, me and my man don't work, baby. I'm living a Paul life, okay? Because I love that man down. So, yeah, like, I know that God intends for marriage. Like, he doesn't.
She just said, I'm living a Paul life. She's trying to get a God-fearing man. She's serious. She's serious. Marriage while being young in this generation. She's a Christian.
Like, he doesn't intend for us to be shacking up, fornicating. Like, he intends for us to, you know, leave to the marriage bed. He intends for all of that stuff. Like, that is not what God intends for us to be doing. So yeah, like, I want all of it. Like, I want to spend my life growing and loving God with one person and worshiping God and doing godly activities. Like, can you imagine, like, me and my man going traveling the world on missions and all types of stuff? Like,
I love it. I love it.
What? Y'all don't want that? I really be trying to understand, like, how do you not want to spend your life with one person? No matter what your age is, you can still live your life and be married. Like, if anything, marriage has made me want to go to therapy. It has made me want to heal. It has made me want to be a better person so that me and my partner can still be individuals and love our own lives, but be conjoined as one. You know, like, y'all don't want marriage.
Man, I feel like I bumped my head and landed in another dimension, but I didn't, because she might be one of them ones. What I mean by one of them ones is she believes in the Bible to the T. Most likely. I don't know her. Same thing as the modern woman. I don't know her. But still, this one's different. This one seems like a genuine person. The way she said it came from the heart. She wants to do mission trips with a man. I support her. I hope she succeeds. If I'm a young eligible bachelor in the West, if I was one of you guys that may not be married, I'd hit her up.
Stop giving homeless people things that fit within your realm. So I know, like, my grandma says never give homeless people money, and I'm like, why? And she's like, because they'll use it on drugs and alcohol. And I'm like, I don't know however many people are watching this. When you've had a week at work, when you've had a broken argument with your boyfriend, what do you do? Have a glass of wine?
Yeah.
So why are you judging a homeless person for doing it? They're living on the street. And I used to help out in Nottingham in this weekly homelessness shelter. And I said to one of the guys, like, why do you take drugs? Like, I can't remember what it was called. It was one of them that just passes you out. And I was like, why do you do it? And he was like, have you tried living on the street?
Yeah.
And I was like, no. And he was like, try doing it for one night for me. He was like, it's so cold. This helps me feel warm. He's like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But tell me how I'm going to survive. And I was like, you know.
Whoa. What happened to the wine? Right? He takes something that passes him out, like, puts him out of his mind. He doesn't know what's happening. He could have got drunk and went to sleep. Like, why is he? That's not an excuse. I'm sorry. That's not. I don't think she thought about it, which is what he said. What?
You know, so many of us drink, smoke, take drugs, smoke weed to calm ourselves down after a bad week. Why are we judging homeless people for doing it?
Step in someone else's shoes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, no, just take it for yourself. Have a bad day.
Yeah.
And don't go drink a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Have a bad day and don't smoke some weed. Whatever you want to do. Like, everyone does everything. But when you see a homeless person doing it, you're like, oh, no. I'm only going to give you £1 to buy a Greggs sausage roll. And if you use that £1 towards drugs or cigarettes, like, you're a bad person and you're wasting my money.
Yeah.
Well, no. Like, if you're going to give something, give it. Don't have any expectation on it.
I believe in that. Don't have any expectation on your giving, right? But no, people don't see it like that. And it's understandable, because if I was out on the street, I would be trying to hustle and grind. Yes, I'm different. A lot of other people that may be watching this are different. So they don't see that as an excuse. Doing something like, let me tell you why. I gotta tell you why. I'm not doing AA or anything, but I have my 3-year chip. Yes. I've been 3 years. Okay, has it been 3 years. It's been 3 years now. Since 2021. During the pandemic, actually. I quit smoking and drinking. On the same day. I told you guys about my story, but it happened because my wife, she broke down crying. Couldn't stop crying. She said, well, you keep doing this to me. That was enough for me. But because I've recovered, I'm not looking at anyone's situation that they can't get over it. All it takes is a prayer, not a substance.
If you had a hall pass with any celebrity, who would it be?
A hall pass? What you mean?
That means you can just mess with any celebrity you want to.
Oh, no, I love my wife, Marlene Wilkinson. Yo, shout out my wife and my kids.
Shout out his wife, man.
What? My man Kyrie Word, he said, I'm not with the games. Don't put me in none of that mess. I love my wife and my kids. Marley Wilkins. Yes, bro. That's how you do it. I've never even heard him doing anything crazy. He probably isn't doing anything crazy. Don't put his name in anything crazy. Don't ask him anything crazy like at an interview. Because could you imagine his wife sees that and goes, what I was thinking is real. She probably has no thoughts in her head. Then she sees this interview and starts pondering. Imagine, he very well could be doing something. He could, but probably not. But why would he want that? He don't want that smoke.
Hey man, we might be the last ones getting married for real. So I went back home the other day and I was talking to one of my young boys. And keep in mind, he like 16. He like, yeah, bruh, I done gave up a long time ago. I'm like, gave up on what? He talking about relationships, trying to get married, all of that. He told me his plan was to get a really, really fine baby mama so he could just hit her forever. He said, because you know, you can always hit your baby mama. And I said, yeah. And I was like, he young, he gonna grow out of that. But I was like, let me hear him out. Basically what he said, and he had a very good point. He was like, he feel like he ain't turned right now. So he was like, if he get a girl and he locked in, she just gonna cheat on him with the right dude, which is turned. He was like, when he gets there, when he finally gets his money and figures himself out and all that, she's only gonna be around for that. That if he didn't even have all that, he wouldn't even look his way. I was like, damn, he ahead of the curve. But I tried to talk him out of it. I tried to persuade him. I was like, hey, look at me and my girl. I met her in college. I was in a dorm, eating at the Calf, no car, walking to work. And she held it down. She was still with me, and we came up together. And he was like, yeah, bro, you might have found a unicorn, but I don't want to take them chances. He said, if I want to play with those type of odds, I could just put in a 30-leg parlay. Damn.
I used to think the same way. Coming from where I'm from, that's how all of us thought. But I realized very soon that I had no hope. Like, it's hard to find a Christian woman like that, like her in the States. I know for sure. I was looking on a Christian website. I was looking everywhere, up and down, all around, looking in the church, the real church, not the playing games. But, you know, I couldn't find anything. Because then you look in the church, and the women that were really doing something, like, were all about doing missions. Oh, I'm doing a mission for the church. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. They're too busy. They don't have time. They're not focused on relationships. And also, by the time you talk to them and get it going, it's 5-10 years later. I don't want to wait that long, right? But that's what's going on in the West. It's hard. That's why the youngin' felt like that. I understand. Then you got divorced now. That's all they're seeing. All you see now. I'm so happy the lady in one of the first videos said what she said. I talked it out with my man. I'm not going to get a divorce. I decided not to get divorced. I talked to him. He obliged. That's what needs to be done. We need more of that. And guys are leaving to get them. Right? And I know a site too, as well. If anybody, like, I met my wife on a dating site. I know a site right now, matchmadeinasia.com. Check it out. You can find a woman just like my wife, and just like the Christian woman. My wife's a Christian woman like that. You can find them. And as more guys are trying to find that, because they realize it's definitely more to life than being with any woman that's not like that.
Brothers! What we do in life echoes in eternity.